With her shovel in hand, she roams the universe, exploring every land, no map, no reverse. Oh, Digger 420, curious Canuck. Answers on your mind, never getting stuck. Riding waves of stars through the cosmic sea, finding who we are in the galaxy. She's got questions to ask and a fire that won't die, unraveling each task under the sky. Oh, Digger 420, curious Canuck. Answers on your mind, never getting stuck. Riding waves of stars through the cosmic sea, finding who we are in the galaxy. She's got questions to ask and a fire that won't die, unraveling each task under the sky. Oh, Digger 420, curious Canuck. Answers on your mind, never getting stuck.
Because, you know. Hello. How is everyone doing? It's been a whopping 3 hours since we saw each other last. But there you go. Let me just get these things going. There we go. Hello, Rygod. How you doing? And good to see you, Christine. Yeah, today it's officially 4 p.m. here on the Pacific Coast, Pacific Northwest. It is a beautiful sunshiny day. You can't tell because I've got my lovely, my beautiful curtains. They were a gift from a good friend, and they work like a hot damn. Unfortunately, it also means that it's like a dark dungeon in here. I know it doesn't look it to you, but really from here it looks pretty dark. That being said, because of it, you can see me, because otherwise I'd just be a glowing, kind of a silhouette thing. Because I just disappear when the full light hits me. I'm that pale. Good to see you, Jeff Grady. Hey, there you are, Ragod. Hi, how's it going? But yeah, today is Thursday, which means it's chatting with you guys. So it's up to you, dealer's choice. What would you like to talk about? Is there anything in particular, in the news or something that has caught your mind or caught your attention? Oh, just a sec here. We might. Aw, that's good. There was a the lotto winner. He won $80 million, and it was here in BC. So I feel good about that. At least, at least it's landing in the local area for a change. You're pale too, eh, Rygod? Yeah, it's really sad. And especially where I live. It's beautiful. It's sunshine. They joke that there is a sunshine tax for living out here because it's just so beautiful. They should tax us more. But I have to go out now that it's, proper sunshiny. I have to go out and get a good burn, a nice all over burn. And once that peels and heals, then I'll be able to build a tan from there. But I will not tan. I will just keep like pinking and going back to white unless I let myself get properly burnt. Once I get properly burnt, and like I said, once it peels and heals, I'll have a little bit of a tan, and then I can tan up off of that. But yeah, unless I get a proper burn, I'm not going to do anything but burn all summer long. It's no good. Hello, Poignant Pachyderm. How you doing? Yeah, just too pale. Oh, in high school, you went into the tanning bed for 3 minutes for the first time for prom, and that burned your skin. Yeah, my little brothers, stepbrothers are similar. They're natural gingers So they've got the same issues. It's all, red hair and white, white, white. But it's really good for the camouflage in the wintertime, right? Like we get actual decent winters with snow and champagne snow, so you can build and ski and toboggan and all the fun stuff. It's not wet and just, I don't know. Wet snow is just no fun to me. Wet snow happened on the coast, Vancouver and the Lower Mainland. That's no fun. I like this champagne powder that they call it. It's lovely. You can do everything in it, and you don't get soaked when you step outside. You're a blonde, okay? So you're a pale blonde, yeah. Well, blonde with pale skin. uh, so yeah, I've been actually lately. I've been binge watching animes. Someone's been introducing me into the magic ways of the anime, and we are, I don't know, like halfway, maybe halfway through Black Clover, and I'm loving it. So if anyone's interested in that, we can talk about that too, because I am knee deep in it, and it's awesome. And I really hate how good they are with their cliffhangers. Because there's no good episode to stop on, because they're all cliffhangers, and you really want to see the next one, then you got to stop, and it's hard. Hello, Los Federales. I told Johnny about Saint Johnny of Assist. Can we talk about how Black enslaved themselves mentally and will never succeed in life if they keep using the race card, the victimhood mentality, the white man, government, racial bias, oppression excuse? Yeah, but I mean, the race card, yes, but every race has their own version of a race card, right? Like, but we can't really call it the Black man anymore. It's not race versus race. If you look at it from ground level, that's what they're trying to tell you you're seeing. But if you take a step back and take another step back from there, what you'll really notice, it's not races against each other. It's the poor versus the rich, and the rich versus the 1%, and the 1% against the global elites who are actually playing the Game of Thrones. It's like there's a cat who's trying to clean my cereal bowl because I forgot to rinse it out. That's what it's like. Don't worry, this is a child's sock and plastic bags inside it. So when I do chuck it at her, because it's the only way I can get her to stop doing it, it's not going to hurt her at all. Get out. Thank you. She just looks at me licking her lips like, she said, that's cool. I got all the milk out. I was done anyway. But yeah, so it's, I mean, everyone, when you say how Black enslaved themselves, we can take the Black out and just say how people enslave themselves mentally and will never succeed in life when they keep using, again, drop the race card, but the victimhood mentality, blaming not so much the white man as just the man in charge, the mysterious they that control things, but as long as you keep saying, I'm not going to succeed in life because of X, Y, or Z, you're not going to succeed. But it's not because of X, Y, or Z. It's because you're telling yourself that you're not going to succeed. So again, I don't think it's so much a race thing as it's just a people in general. We've been indoctrinated through schooling to be dumbed down, no critical thinking, no. And then we started talking about the victimhoods and identity being the most important, and things changed. We've got to get rid of, as long as we're still arguing about specific races doing this, that, or the other thing, we're going to lose. because the people at the top, the people who are actually playing this globalist Game of Thrones, they've been playing this game for thousands of years. Okay, we only get our lifetime. We have to grow up, we have to learn about this shit, and we have to illuminate ourselves, to take a term from history. We have to illuminate ourselves on what's really going on, and then we've got to try and figure out how to change it, which is damn near impossible if you're just a solo person. But the start is to get people to stop blaming their victimhood and going, well, I'm never going to be able to do anything because this, whatever this is for each individual person. We've got to stop saying we can't because, and start doing we will despite or in spite of. That's a huge thing. We can do an awful lot as just one person. We can actually affect a lot of change. It may not be on the global level, but if each one of us starts affecting change right within our immediate realm, that affects others, that affect others, that affect others. It's the whole ripple effect, right? Hello, MJ. How you doing? That was full quarters. Los Federales. I said black because they're the ones that bitch about it the most. Well, and they're the ones right now that tend to get the most attention in media, because that's the victim that they want you to be worried about at the moment. The LGBTQ whomevers, or as we Canadians call them, the two slug butts. Those people had their time. And I'm sure they'll try and have another time. Hopefully they don't get it. But right now, it's, the highlight from media, from the powers that be, is on the black specifically. Because they're trying to force that narrative, right? So we've got to just ignore their narrative and realize what's really going on. And part of that is going to be not worrying about your victimhood and stop focusing on whatever is your victimhood. We all got them. It's an evil, sinful world. We've all got victimhoods. We've all got our cross to bear. And the world has turned around and started bitching about their cross and poor me. And my cross is bigger than your cross, and my victimhood is worse than your victimhood. And that's not the way we're supposed to do things. We're supposed to take that cross and we're supposed to bear it. So we're supposed to do good in spite of the whatever victimhood or hardship has been put on us, right? That's the real point. And the world's gone soft looking at what about me. And we've got to start looking at what sort of changes we can affect in our own sphere of existence, despite whatever victimhood was lopped on top of us. So we can't, we got to start looking at the bigger picture, not focusing on the minute stuff they want us to focus on. Hello, Mr. Q. Ooh, talking to a guy about a 1972 John Deere. 4020, not gonna pretend like I know what 1420 is, but 1972 John Deere, that's a good piece of equipment. And so I'm not surprised that you really, really want it. Jeff Grady is saying that victim mentality seems to be generational. If you think about it, all pushed by the bodies of government and NGOs. Yeah. And Los Federales is saying, look at BLM, a bunch of BS, right? Hello, Duct Tape. How you doing? Good to see you. And Lady, hello. Our Lass. That's what people call you, eh, Lass? So hello, Lass. How you doing? So we've got to stop looking at what they want us to look at. We need to start taking a broader perspective on what's really going on. And we've got to start affecting change within our own sphere of existence. So, I got health issues and I wallowed and I, Yeah, wallowed is probably a good word. Um, Not like I really enjoyed it, but I was so fed up with my illnesses and with my body and with I just couldn't function. I just can't function the way the average human does. And I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I finally was getting diagnoses and this, that, and the other thing. And I got hammered down into a box where that was my life, was me and my victimhood, and there was nothing I could do to change it. So that's what I did. I moved into this place. I hunkered down. I became an agoraphobe, which means you basically don't go out at all. You have anxiety, panic attacks when you do have to go out. And I've been in this place for 10 years. So it's not like it's not like it's an easy thing to do, changing your perspective. Um, and I'm not there yet, not by a long chalk. I've got a ways to go. Um, I don't know if I'll ever be able to be employable in a normal scheme of things. I am just not reliable. Um, it's very hard to stick to a schedule for me because I never know from day to day what my body's going to say. I'm actually starting to feel pretty decent today. I had my pain shots a couple days ago. Yesterday, I felt like I had been run over by a semi. It was not fun. Um, it was like everything was hurt. Now I can still feel bruisey marks where the needles went in, and it kind of feels a little bruisey, like it's a little tender, where he gave me the shots, but so much better. So much better. And it really does make life a lot easier. And so I've been going to the pain shot doctor for the same 10 years as I've been living in this place. Um, and it's interesting. I can only see him every 3 months or so because he's the only guy that does what he does. And he covers the whole North Okanagan. It's a lot of people. So I can only get in to see him every 3 months or so. But after 10 years of doing that every 3 months, I'm doing so much better today than I was when I first met him, when I first moved in here, when I first thought that that's it. This is going to be the rest of my life, is just going to be here in this little box. Um, and he and I were talking about it again. It's interesting how much better I am doing overall, because due in part to the shots. It really does, just by being able to relax and release the muscles that tense up because it's trying to protect from a fibro pain, which it can't protect from. But just every 3 months, getting the shots and having everything just relax and release. Oh, it's so lovely. And I've been getting them regular now. So when I do get them, I don't need as much, you know, um, or I still need them, but it doesn't have to work as hard. So, AP is saying remote job. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm doing this. This is really great. Actually, this is even greater if I actually do that occasionally. There you go. I do this. This has really opened up my social world. It's given me friends to hang out with, so that's really helped open my life up. Going out into the public, into the wide world is another thing I started doing and doing more and more. Hello, Squabob, how you doing? So everything all together. It's nice that 10 years in, and I'm not relegated to that horrible, miserable, painful life that I thought I was going to be relegated to. I mean, the pain's still here, the health issues are still here, but somewhere along the way, my my mental state changed from poor me to, okay, so what? Now what? Yeah. So instead of poor me, it's now what do I do? And finding things to do in spite of, you know, myself has really, really helped. Pardon me. The Buy Me a Coffee has enabled me to get acupuncture treatments. I've had 3. I'm overdue. I keep forgetting to book the next one. I should get on that. But yeah, if it weren't for the Buy Me a Coffees and members like MJ, I wouldn't be able to go and get these acupuncture treatments because they're so very expensive and they are not covered by any stretch of the imagination. If it's natural healing, natural treatments, it's not covered with the disability. So they'll cover all the prescriptions, they'll cover all the invasive stuff and the tests and stuff, which is amazing and great. But it's always been frustrating that they don't treat or they don't cover the more natural treatment areas. So the Buy Me a Coffee has enabled me to get something that I never thought I'd be able to get. And I tell you, acupuncture is actually really nice. It's almost like it's releasing other pent up energy that gets so tight and pent in because I'm constantly fighting against the fibro pains. So it's almost like it releases another something. And she said the next time I went in, she was going to treat me specifically or particularly to help me quit smoking. But she doesn't have to do that anymore because of Foom. Thank you, Foom, who does not sponsor me, but maybe they will someday because gosh darn it, this thing's amazing. It really has taken the place of a cigarette. And sometimes when the cravings are strong, I understand the science of it. The nicotine cravings are gone. I still get cravings. I need to go out and have a smoke. And I don't know, why, but I need to go out and have a smoke. Instead of going out and having a smoke, I go out and have a Foom. And I mean, there's nothing to have. It's a little flavor. It's got essential oils. There you go. So there's a little white coil you can see. Move my finger there. There's a little white coil sitting in there, and it's soaked in essential oil, essential flavorings. So all I'm doing is inhaling a flavor. There's no glycerin, there's no vape, there's no nothing. I just inhale the flavor, and it clicks when you spin it. It's magnetic, so you can click it and you can, if you're a chewer, if you're a gnar of pens or something, it's got rubber tips so you can chew on it and you're not going to break your teeth. And you're not going to go through pens all day long. It's absolutely amazing. And like I said, even when I get cravings so bad that I actually go outside, I'll still go outside, but I'm sucking on this instead. And it's made a huge difference, huge difference. So today is day number 14. When I wake up tomorrow morning, I can whatever it is, black out day 14 because I'll have done the full thing. So, I'm really thrilled. I'm really super thrilled about this. And that's kind of that's kind of a thing that there's no way I would have been able to do back then. There we go. But yeah, so it's all about your mindset. And I don't know how I changed mine, because if I knew how and I could tell other people how to do it, I would make a freaking fortune. But somewhere along the way, yeah, the mindset changed, and I'm doing a heck of a lot better now. So let's see. Can the link be put in the chat? Sure, it is. Nope. Yes. Oh, that felt like an earthquake suddenly, but no, the cat's just scratching and the post is touching the table. Oops, what am I doing? think it's Digger. Yeah. And let me make that, because who knows if, it might be important. So there you go. So that's the buy me a coffee. Oh, for Pete's sakes. I do have, Rumble's great. You can buy a Rumble Rant as well if you would prefer. I find the buy me a coffee is easiest because they can deposit, when I get a buyout, they deposit it straight into my bank. With the Rumble, they pay out in American funds. So then they mail me a check in American funds, and I'm still, I go out more, but I still don't get out as much as I should. And I haven't set up a proper bank account. I need to set up a brick and mortar account, bank account that will accept U.S. funds. So it's a thing that I have to do. Same as my passport. I have to get out and I have to take it there and see. So yeah, see, I'm still very good at procrastinating. It's still very easy for me to say, oh no, I don't have to go out today. I'll go out. I'll do it another day. I'll do it another day. So I'm working on it. But yeah, every day is a little bit better, right? There you go, duct tape. I threw it in the chat for you. AP says why I'm looking for a new job and moving south, need a change. Yeah. I moved up here to help my little brother. But I stayed up here for my health. The weather here is so much better for me and my health issues. It's so much better. It's dry, but it's not too dry. But there's no humidity, which really messes with me. So yeah, I stayed up here for that. All of my friends and family live on the coast, but it's nice. It's nice to be here. Jeff Grady was saying, I stopped pain shots years ago since it only masked or had no long-term effects. I broke my back and pelvis decades ago, pins and rods holding me together. Yeah, drinking became a demon for a bit. Yeah. I self-medicated for most of my young life because fibro didn't exist. They didn't believe it was a thing. So I was told my entire life that I was faking it, that I was lying, that I was making it up. I was a hypochondriac, this, that, and the other thing. I was put on all sorts of antidepressants and antipsychotics and this, brain numbers and you name it. And then finally I was 30 and they started to acknowledge that fibro existed. They still don't have any treatment for it. They still don't know for sure how it happens or what it is that's causing it. But at least they acknowledge it exists. So suddenly I wasn't a liar. I was a patient, which was a huge difference. And that helped an awful lot too. But the pain shots I get are interesting. I have an issue with my low back, L4, L5. I had a bulging disc. And when it finally healed, it had damaged the spine. So I've got permanent spinal damage right down at my L4, L5. So every once in a blue moon, when it burns and the burning just doesn't stop anymore, when it's just there all the time and getting stronger, then I'll get a cortisone, whichever one of those, shot right into the spine there. But the pain shots that I get are really interesting. For fibro, you can't give, it's very hard to treat nerve pain or to treat fibro because it's like, from my understanding, they think that it's just that my pain receptors are like on full all the time. So I start at full pain, which is part of why it moves. It's not always in the same spot, and it can come and go. But the shots that he gives me are actually into the muscles. My fibro really, really it starts in my feet and my ankles. That's the worst. It's always been the worst there. But it also comes through my shoulder, in behind my shoulder blades, and top or bottom of my head, down my back. So because the pain is there and there's no way to stop the pain, the muscles all start to tense and tighten, right? Each of the different muscles tense and tighten, trying to, find that way to protect, to kind of ease the pain. So by the time it's 3 months and I'm going to see the doctor again, all of the muscles in my back and my shoulders, my arms and everything are all uber super tight. So what he's doing, using the ultrasound to find the really angry muscles, and the shots he gives me, it's actually a numbing agent, much like the dentist uses. So a numbing agent, an anti-inflammatory, and a muscle relaxant. So there's no actual, there's no pain medicine in it. It's the anti-inflammatory and the muscle relaxant work together directly into the angry muscles to release and relax them. So they're not actually doing anything with pain medication, nor is it actually treating the fibro at all. But it's relaxing and releasing all of the muscles that are so tense, so that I can, now I'm starting to feel better. I can still feel the bruisey spots, but this is way better. It doesn't hurt. I've got a lot more movement. It's amazing. And that's just because it's all the muscles from my hips, my butt muscles, my hip muscles, everything are so tense, and that it releases them. So I get back to, closest thing to normal as I get, and it'll stay at its best like this. I'll probably get a week or 2 weeks, depending on how hard I push, before the muscles really start to tense up, so I notice it again. But yeah, it's made a huge difference without needing heaps of pain medication continually put into me. So it's made a huge difference for me. And Mr. Q says he might have to try Foom. Yeah. Well, give me another 16 days. 16 days, and then I get to send my little card in, send it into them and say, wow, you rock. Why don't you sponsor me? So crossing fingers, give me another few weeks, and hopefully I'll have a sponsor code for you, or a promo code for you. Thank you, Les. Thank you for dropping the buy me a coffee. Okay, MJ, you have a good one. I will see you there when I get finished here. Buy me a coffee. It's $5 flat for a coffee. It's really, I guess apparently there's been some issues with the page lately. But then there's been issues with everyone lately, so. So you would click, I think it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you click on the 1, I believe. But they're really nice. They take 5% right off the top. They put everything else directly into my account. Get off the table, Mabel. Get off the table. Get off the table, Mabel. Thank you. But yeah, they take 5, and then they when I get a buyout, they just put it directly into my account, and then it's up to me to do the rest. It's really nice. It's really easy. They do the exchange of money for Canadian American. So by the time they're depositing it into my account, the exchange and all of that is already dealt with. I don't have to worry. So it's a lot easier. Thank you, lady. I did do it anyways. Thank you for putting it out there. There we go. We're all on a high road. There we go. I wish I could do that sometime. Dealing with people sucks. What, doing the hiding? Hiding away. Yeah. I'm a very social person. My first words were "Hi, guy," and I would say it to anyone who walked past us. If my mom was walking me in the baby stroller down the street, apparently this is what I did. I'd say "Hi, guy, hi, guy, hi, guy" to everyone who walked past. Very, very social person. Social anxiety was a thing. It was a very, very new thing to me. I mean, I was as a youth in my teens, in my 20s, I loved going out. I went to concerts and big, huge events. I was a makeup artist, so I was behind stage for a lot of a lot of performances, fashion shows, hair shows, all that sort of. I was out every night of the week till all hours, out and about in amongst people. So suddenly not being able to be around people um, without, you know, seeing the black and white that you used to get from old TVs when the station went down and it was just the fuzz or whatever. Get that, and you're cold, but you're hot, but you're clammy, and you're sweaty, but you're not, and you just the whole body shuts. It was weird, and it was very hard to understand after being someone who could do anything in public by themselves, no big deal. So yeah, that really helped to shut my life up as well. I'm making a lot of changes in that respect. I've been a good friend told me to, she called it popcorning. Just popcorn, just randomly get up and go out of the house and go to a store for whatever, popcorn, right? For anything, just force yourself to have those interactions with strangers. And that really has helped quite a bit. I also I take the I take the handy dart. So that's for us people with disability who don't have a car. Instead of taking the bus, which scares the piss out of us, we can take the handy dart, and it's a short bus, and they'll pick us up from our home and take us to our appointments and back again. And yes, mock it if you will, but they're a lifesaver. And I've started to walk home from my appointments whenever possible instead of waiting around to take the safe bus. I've been walking across town to come home and being forced to, interact or just, pass strangers. It's really done a lot of good for me. It's helped a lot. Right. Rusty is still looking for a home for his baby ducks. If you live near central Minnesota, he's got two about to hatch. Can send out many more. Honestly, not looking to make money off them. $10 each to Tigger or Johnny. There you go. So if you're in central Minnesota and you're interested in some baby ducks, they're domestic ducks, and I'm sure they're cute AF. I love domestic ducks. I love the wild ducks too, but the domestic ducks are so cool. They're bigger and they're just, I don't know, more personality, I think. Anyways, so if you are and you do, let me or Johnny know, and we can get you and Rusty in contact. Jeff Grady is fused from T11 through L3. Oof, okay. I'm lucky. It's just the L4, L5. I believe I think it's the L4, L3. I was actually, that's when I did that and got the bulging disc. Well, we already knew. Yeah, that's right. We found out when I fell off the place thing. I was like 5 or something like that, and I fell off. It was a slide, 2-story tall climbing thing. It was the very early 80s. And I fell off. Instead of going down the slide, somehow I managed to go over the edge right at the top, and I and I dropped and I landed on my back. And that's when we found out that I was born with an extra disc. So I think it's the L3, L4, I think, has an extra disc. So instead of, the disc and then the plate and then the disc, I've got 2 discs on top of each other. So they're usually annoyed with me anyways. And then the bulging disc was right underneath that. So No fun. They were treating nerve pain with Neurontin and gabapentin, but they seem to prescribe it less because it's addictive. Yes, I was on gabapentin for years, and I was on such high doses. Other people were surprised. Um, other doctors were surprised by just how high a level I was on, because I was taking it 3 times a day, couple thousand milligrams, I think. Either which way, I took myself off them a couple of years ago now, which is partly why I'm I'm chubby. I'm getting chubby again. I took myself off of them, but one of the things that they did do for me in a really great way was to keep my weight kind of somewhat under control. The PCOS messes with me, so I tend to be chubby, leaning towards overweight if I'm not careful with it. So since stopping the gabapentin, that's something I've noticed. I've got to start doing my workouts daily instead of every second or third or fourth day. So I've got to get back into doing that, and that'll help me feel better too. But yeah, the gabapentin, apparently it is addictive. I know getting off of it hurt. It physically hurt. Partially because I was taking such high doses and I took myself off it. I didn't go through the doctor. It was COVID, right? So I wasn't able to go in and see the doctor. I just said, F it. So I stopped taking the morning. And then after a while, I stopped taking the afternoon one. And then eventually I stopped taking the evening one as well. So weaned myself off it, which is probably why it was harder than it maybe needed to be. But it does so much to your body that you don't want it to do. The ducks won't fly away. They're, basically chickens. They're domestics. Hybrids, Ruin Cayuga and Ruin Khaki. Phil Simhost says, I went to a pain clinic that targeted nerves. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. I've never been offered anything like that. For a long time, it's just been my doctor prescribing me pills and me taking the pills. And I can't, because of my past addiction. I don't want to take heavy duty opiates. I don't want to be on fentanyl patches and this, that, and the other thing. I'm not sure. Like I said, I think from the last I understood when researching fibro myself is that it's it's your pain receptors, your nerve endings and stuff. Pardon me, that do it. I did not know that there was a pain clinic that can treat nerve issues. That's very interesting. I thought there was basically drugs and that's it. Rusty says I have the same problems. Hello, Tammy. How you doing? Trump is selling solid gold dildos to gay Arabs. Well, they're selling each other something. They're all very happy. Did you see how they lit up that main city? Ginormous building, and they lit it up with the American flag. It was just phenomenal and beautiful. I mean, honestly, if these deals are being made, if the deals that are being made stick, you guys are going to be in a much better shape in a year and in 5 years. Because they've got a lot of money if you're, start trading with them, and not just for oil. They've got a lot of stuff to offer. Hello, SH, how you doing? And Tammy's getting nervous. Why? There's severe weather headed her way. Wisconsin last look 4 minutes ago had at least 7 tornado warnings. Well, you keep your head down. You button down the house and get to wherever you're safest. You take care of yourself. I can't imagine living in an area with like tornadoes or any of that stuff. I mean, I'm okay. I live in a forest fire zone. I understand that there will be a fire here at some point. It's a given. I'm okay. I know that I'm physically and psychologically prepared for a forest fire and how to get out. I've got my bug out bag. I got, I'm fine. I'm ready for that. I have no idea what I would do if there's like a tornado, because that's all you can do is just button down and then you hunker down and you just got to wait, right? Like you just got to wait and cross everything and pray to God that it doesn't hit the building you're in, right? I can't do that. Forest fire, I get to act. I got to get up. I got to get my stuff. I got to get the girls. I got to get them in the carrier. I got to put the carriers on the rolling thing and attach all that. Like I've got an action plan. As soon as I've got everything I need, take it all outside, lock up, head to the beach. Like there's stuff I have to do and I have to keep on doing and keep on acting, and that's okay, right? I don't know what I would do with myself when you're just sitting there waiting and hoping, I just, I can't imagine. So you take care of yourself, Tammy. You be careful out there. SH is saying I haven't had a full-on panic attack in years now, thankfully. Yep, me too, knocking on wood. Still have fear, anxiety attacks out of nowhere occasionally. So hooray. I know. Me too. Like I said, it's they're less and less often. I still have them. There's no way I would go to a concert yet. Well, I could probably go to an elementary or a middle school concert sort of a thing. I could probably do that, but there's no way I could go to like an actual big band concert where there's, a stadium and thousands of people. I don't think I can do that yet. I might be able to do like a smaller intimate setting, like a little hole in the wall setting with a live band or something like that, but I couldn't do an actual concert anymore, not yet. But I can go to the swimming pool. I can go to the public pool and I can swim now. So there's that. Things that I couldn't do. I'm slowly working on. It's difficult for them to stop. Seems like yeah, with the gabapentin and whatnot. Yeah, they're finding out just how bad it's the side effects are. I'm pretty sure it was either the metformin or the gabapentin, but one of those two was actually making me stop your ears, boys. It was making me ovulate more than one egg each month. So it made the periods worse. It made the mood swings worse. It also cut my my chances of having a kid in half. Because again, I was on both of those for many, many years, more than a decade at varying dosages. So that's no good when I'm starting out with the not going to be able to do it, right? Like Miracle Child was slightly more likely. But all the years of having, I can't remember which one it was. It was either gabapentin or the metformin. But after more than a decade of taking them, you can imagine just like I halved the amount of eggs that I was born with, just in that. So that was kind of disappointing and upsetting. I need everyone I've got. If I want to have that miracle baby, I can't be just getting rid of 2 or 3 at a time, right? Like, no good. Serious back injuries are brutal. Yeah, wake up constantly at night and still trying to be relatively productive throughout the day can be hard. Yeah. Yeah. I am lucky it is as little as it is. Johnny's saying just punch the tornado, Digger. Yeah, right. Punch the tornado. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Tornadoes are freaky, volatile. Hopefully you have a basement with talking to Tammy. Yeah. Hello, Steve. How you doing? Mr. Q was saying I was a mile away from an F4 tornado, just covered my head with a cardboard box and tried to film the tornado. Jeez Louise, Mr. Q. Come on now. I don't have those kind of balls, man. Those are some big ass balls. I'm a wimp and a bit of a coward. If someone needs help, that's fine. But if it's just, me and some horrible thing happening, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run hard. I am not gonna face anything like that. Cardboard box trying to film the tornado. Nah, that's not me. That's me, SH. Yeah, okay, in a closed up space with the cats and blankets, candle and a phone. See, yeah, as long as I've got my safe space here, that I can retreat to, it doesn't matter. That's why if my government will ever give me a passport, the trip to the States is going to be so huge. It's going to be a really huge next step for me. Not only will I have zero access to my safe zone, I can't retreat to my safe zone. I'm going to be meeting a bunch of you folks, and though we may know each other like this, it's a whole lot different meeting face to face. And I know my anxiety is gonna be an issue. That's another reason why I want to do kind of a meetup at Stoney's, because I love going to the pub. I don't do it anymore. Haven't done it in ages since I moved here. But I used to love going to the pub and just having some pub grub and hanging out with the friends, shooting the shit, maybe watching a game or something. So that's something that I have to do. It's like a goal that I have to achieve while I'm there. I'm going to meet people I know, but I don't know face to face in a public setting. But I'm smart about it. And the nice thing about not, I will never fly. I'm not afraid of flying. I'm afraid of falling from a great height, knowing that I'm going to die, but having to live with that knowledge while I'm falling. That's my big fear. So I'm going to be doing this trip by train. And the nice thing about that is I can rent a roomette, which is like, it's a sleeper cabin. Basically, it can sleep up to 2 people in there. You have a private toilet, private shower. Your meals are included. I can leave my bags there and lock the door behind me and then go explore on the train, not having to worry. So because the places that I'm going to, there's usually it's a 48 to a 72 hour trip between places. And so during that time, I will have the roomette, my own little private space, so that I can kind of reacclimate and calm myself down and get myself ready to face the next group of people and new strange places and stuff. So I'm really excited about the trip. Again, buy me a coffee. Every little bit helps. I really appreciate it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the trip, and I'm looking forward to meet you guys out there, and getting out of this little world again. But that's only if I can figure out how to do everything right. My government has issued to me, in my lifetime, born and raised in BC, they have issued me my SIN card, which is your social insurance number. So they issued me a SIN card. I've got a birth certificate. I've got a driver's license that I've held since I was 16 years old. So like 30 years now. Gosh, I'm old. 30 years almost. And what else? Oh, and I've got my care card, which is the BC medical card. So 4 pieces of federal ID, or government ID. I guess the care card's provincial, but government ID. And with those 4 pieces, it's still not enough for them to let me out of the country. They don't want to risk letting me out of the country. So I still have to find other people who are going to vouch for me and this, that, and the other thing. There's hoops that need to be hopped through. I think I'm good again. I just need to go and get the pictures reshot and then go back to Service Canada again, and hopefully this time around I'll have everything done. But yeah, the sooner I get my passport, the sooner I'll know when that trip will happen. I've kind of been really kind of hoping that September would work, is going to end up working, because I know there's a bunch of folks who are going to Dollywood in September. I also know that Nick Starro will be in America in September. So I'm thinking September would be really cool. I could potentially run into more people because everyone's gathering anyways. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm hoping. But I had originally thought that I would have been gone and come back already, before I realized the hoops I had to jump through for my passport. Well, yeah, Mr. Q. I know it's, see, for some reason I had in my head that the anniversary show happened in September as well, which is why I was like, yay. But July is really soon. Um, and July is also a bunch of birthdays. My birthday's in there. My neighbor is 8 days before me. My niece is 8 days after me. There's a whole lot of stuff that happens here in July. So I don't know if July is going to be feasible. Plus, one of the places I'm stopping is Alabama, and Alabama is hot and humid. So I'm thinking September in Alabama might work better for me health wise, than midsummer. Because when I go there, I'm gonna be active. So I need to plan for these things. Yes, yeah, lass, yeah. Us women are blessed with all the eggs we will ever have when we're born. That's it. That's all. So when you're chucking 2 or 3 eggs every month instead of just the one, it's scary. So a miracle child before is an uber miracle child now. Sandy Squatch, good to see you. Say my 27-year-old daughter is going to Las Vegas by herself this weekend for a huge music festival. Good for her. Good for her. I loved it. I found out about there's a band called Ill Scarlet, and I was working that day in Chilliwack, and I heard that they were in town playing a small venue, a small bar, one day only. So I got off of work in Chilliwack and I drove 2 hours from there home, where I had dropped everything off, got changed, hopped back in the car, drove another hour-ish downtown Vancouver, parked my car, went to the bar, enjoyed the hell out of the concert, ended up going backstage, meeting the band, smoking a few doobies with the band backstage, having a blast, walking out of the bar and realizing I have absolutely no idea which Vancouver alley I had parked the car in because they all look the same. So then I was consecutive circles trying to find through alleys, trying to find the damned car. Which was at the end of the day, probably a good thing because I obviously needed to sober up. So walking around in the cold night air trying to find the stupid car was probably a good thing. But yeah, that's the sort of thing I would do just on an absolute whim. Go to a show by myself, no worries at all. And I miss being able to do that. I've been to so many shows growing up in Vancouver. I've seen so many concerts, so many bands. I'm very, very lucky. I've seen Dave Matthews 3 times, seen Ween 4 or 5 times, seen all my punk bands and everything. It was a great way to be. So I'm glad I was able to experience that before the social anxiety kicked in. Phil Some Holes had a stroke right after you were put on gabapentin. There you go. Yeah, it's a dangerous drug, and they really had no idea just what it would do other than what they were using it for. And they were using it on a lot of different illnesses. Kind of chucking it at the wall and see where it stuck. Oh, and your daughter is going to Ireland for her birthday in June. Oof. See, that's something I never got around to doing. And now now there's no way I could do that on my own. I think that's too far. The states, the states I can do. It's the same continent. Worst case Ontario, I can walk my sorry butt home. It'll be a much skinnier sorry butt by the time I got home. But at the worst case, I could do that. I can't do that from Europe. So I think that might be past my realm of comfortableness these days. um oh, hello Turtle, how you doing? Got into a car accident and it locked your lower vertebrae into your hip. Didn't know for years until the bones tried to fuse, and one day I just couldn't use my legs. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. I can't imagine. Yeah. I've got the hips and butt muscles. That's another main spot where my pain shots go, because the muscles just, because that's all they can do to fight the foot pains and the leg pains. It's just tighten, 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 to the point where like I'm walking stiff as you can tell when it's almost time for the pain meds, because my shoulders are up here. Like I'm so, everything is so tense that my shoulders are up around my ears, and it's, so I've actually got space. I can move. It's really nice. Yeah, Mr. Q, if there's other people involved, yeah, I'll run towards and try and help people. I know that's my first setting, like in emergency mode. Fight or flight for me. I'm gonna flight. I'm gonna flight the fuck out unless there's other people who need help. If there's other people who need help, I will, I just click in and I start doing the helping. And I'm not phased about what's going on around me. But as soon as it's just me, there's something out there that I can get away from, I'm running. Oh shit. Johnny's saying, I got chased down by a tornado once, just once. I ran into a barn and used a horse bride to lash me and Helen Hunt to a cistern. Wait, that was a Bill Paxton in Twister. Yes, that was a movie, Johnny. That wasn't. You smartass. Turtle is saying, I've spent the last couple of years trying to walk properly again. Monday I broke a toe because the nerve damage, I didn't realize it was under my foot when I stepped on it. I call it blood sausage now. Oh, that's awful. Sorry to hear that. Also, Turtle saying, falling is fun. It's that sudden stop at the bottom that gets you, right? Like I'm okay in I used to hike when I could. I used to hike, and the High Knoll was like my favorite place to go. It was the very, very top of the mountain, and it was like a sheer drop off on three sides, just sheer drop off. But you could see clear across Fraser Valley to Pitt Meadows, Port Moody. It was a beautiful sight to get up there, and I was fine going up there, and I was fine standing there and looking out. But if I got close to the edge or looked down, I was hooped. I was hooped because it's the fear of falling, but having the time to think about the fact that, yes, I'm falling, and my goodness, there's no way I'm going to survive this. Holy Hannah, this is going to hurt when this hits. And I'm still falling. So that means I'm going faster. And what happens if I get speared by a tree or something? That's going to be even. So it's all the internal dialogue that'll be happening while I'm falling. That's what I'm afraid of. Hitting the ground in the end is kind of, a relief, because at least it's done. The falling is done, but it's that falling part. That's my biggest fear. It's the internal dialogue that I will have with myself, knowing that I am falling and knowing there's no way to fix it or save it or whatever. and just having to be aware. It's funny as a child, and even now, when I have a really bad fever, my fever dreams are always that I'm swinging on like a big thick rope, um, and swinging out over a cliff to nothingness. Um, and I know I'm really bad when I start swinging back and forth and then go up and down and side. It's yeah, that's probably why it's my biggest fear, because that was my fever dreams as a child, and holy Hannah, that was scary. Mr. Q is reminding Johnny that you get to make it with Helen too, so that would be a brag. And Johnny's saying no. Oh, didn't you get to make it with Helen? I can't remember Tornado, honestly. But she was the original Spank Bank, if he's honest. There you go. Lass is sending Turtle some healing energy. Yeah, there's nothing you can do with the broken toe, isn't it? It's just gotta be left. The royal pain. And Turtle's gonna have to go to the specialist tomorrow to have it drained because of the blood. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. Hello, Slidey Pie. How you doing? Oh, okay. Yeah, Slidey Pie kind of knows. Trying to get my real ID has been a nightmare. All the documents I need is crazy, right? Like, I would have thought 4 different pieces of government identification would be enough to say this is me. I mean, there's picture ID in there. They've all got my signature on them. It shouldn't be this hard. So, anyways, it's what it is. I'm not the only one, though. Slidey Pie is dealing with the government hoops as well, eh? Fun. You weren't aware of a Dollywood trip in September? I thought the Dollywood trip was in September. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've got the timing wrong then. That's more likely that I'm wrong than that you didn't know. I thought everyone was doing Dollywood 2.0 in September, but maybe it's not in September. Steve's saying come to Miami and hang with Nick and I. I would love to. Funds are low. Funds are very low. I would have to have an awful lot of coffee spot for me to afford to do that. I'm this trip, I will be going from Vancouver to Seattle to get onto Amtrak, and then I will be going to St. Cloud, Minnesota, and then I will be going to either Chicago or Detroit, and then from there I will be going to Alabama, and then I'm going to have to come home because that's all of the money. My dad sold the family home, and he was able to gift me a little bit of money, and I've managed to hold on to just enough that I should be able to do that trip. So unfortunately, there were other stops that I had planned, but life came up and the inheritance money went to, life things. You know how it is, right? Every time you come into a sum of money, there's some sort of emergency or something that happens. Or rather, the way my dad always used to say it, he's never too worried when there's an emergency that comes up, like there's a sudden repair that needs to be done on the car or a pipe burst or something. So, because you never have to worry when those emergency moments come up, because God always makes sure that the funds show up. And it's been true for me. It's always been, it's not always been in a timely manner. Sometimes it's the skin of my teeth sort of thing. But whenever an emergency happens, one way or another, God's always made sure that there's the money to cover it. So when they first gave it to me, the girls were both sick, and it costs $100 per head just to get them into the door, let alone all the treatments and stuff that we had to do afterwards. This, that, and the other, so emergencies were popping up, but thankfully there was the inheritance. So, it's a good thing. And I've managed to hold on to just enough that I should be able to do that trip and home. But then I'm going to have to plan on a second trip and save money for that. Because yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it. I know Miami. Miami is one of those places that I have always wanted to see. Miami, Daytona Beach specifically, always seemed like a really cool town to visit. Um, yeah, yeah, I would love to go there, but not this time around. I'm hoping though. Isn't I'm pretty sure Nick is going to go and see Mo, and I think she's in Indiana. I think. Um, so depending on the route, I might be able to go that way to see to get down to Alabama. There's also he's going to be in Utah, and when I originally planned this trip, Utah was going to be a stop for sure. So maybe if I can swing that, but it all depends on my getting a passport first. So I can't really do anything until I have the passport in my hot little hands, and then I will make the plans. But those three places, St. Cloud and like Detroit and Alabama, I have to go there. Those three places. I can cut nothing else out of the trip. Those three places have to be hit on this trip. Ooh. All right. Yeah, exactly. No way do I want Alabama in July. Yeah. And last year, you're nearby Alabama. You're nearby Rose, right? Because Rose is my main purpose for going to Alabama is to go and meet Rose for reals. I really want to do that. And is it you that's nearby? I think so. Um, yeah, it's either you or Swan Lake Lady, but I'm pretty sure it's Swan Lake Lady is in Utah. You're the one that's near Rose. Yeah. So that sort of thing I want to try and do. Oh, wait a minute. Yes. Last has seen Dave Matthews Band 3 times. Yep, I love them. I loved them because I played the flute, and it was the only contemporary music band that was using a flute. So yeah, I fell in love with them ages ago. Seeing them as often as I could. Mr. Q says my main concern crushes were KMFDM. That's an oldie but a goodie. And Lords of Acid, seen both of them 7-8 times. Lords of Acid, now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Yeah. I want to see your pussy. Everyone says it's nice. Right? Nice. Yeah, Tammy's got to go. You be careful. Take care of yourself. Lily Sobieski that's a triangle I'd give a toe to get caught in. Ooh, Mr. Q is saying the last concert he went to, he got beat by the Acid Queen on stage. Nice. It's those kind of memories that, I just love. My girlfriend and I were at the very back. It was outdoor but caged in area. There was multiple bands. We were standing at the very, very back, right by the fence, because we were getting our medicine. They had little letter E's inscribed on them. But we were getting them delivered to us through the fence. They'd been delivered to us, and we took our medicine, and our medicine was starting to kick in. So we're standing there and we're kind of enjoying the tunes. And then the Offspring got on stage, and we were really rocking to that. And then suddenly the Offspring brought the fire hose out on stage and started spraying the crowd, which is awesome, right? Except we were at the very, very back, so we couldn't see the stage, so we didn't know what was happening. We were just enjoying the music and our medicine, and the crowd parted. And then the fire hose actually reached from the stage and sprayed us. So we got like, it wasn't soaked, but we were definitely wet from the fire hose. And then the fire hose moved on, then the crowd kind of got back together like that. And she and I were just absolutely unaware of what it was that had just happened, but it was magical. And it's memories like that, yeah, makes concerts so great. Turtle did the Coastal Starlight Amtrak out of Sacramento to Seattle. The sleeper cars are mandatory, so much better, and the meals are included. That's the big thing too. The back end Cajun T-bone on a train should not have been that good. Fair enough. Yeah, it just makes sense if I'm going to be on the train for more than 10 hours. If I'm going to be spending an overnight on it, I'm much better off to get a roomette. And like I said, that gives me a safe space to kind of unwind and decompress and get reset again for the next bout of strangers. Need to see Guar live. That would be a show. That would definitely be a show. Miami's where you go to get your boobs done. Yep, that's what I've heard as well. SH. I know Miami and Dayton are on opposite sides of Florida. I know. I do get that. Like I said, it would be the next trip sort of a thing. So I could do both if I'm going to get to Florida. Hello, Rex Vectum. How you doing? Miami's expensive too, saying AP. You don't want Florida in the spring, summer, unless you like it hot. See, hot is okay. It's humid. It's the humidity that kills me, whether it's hot or cold. It's the wet that does it for me. So again, that's one of the reasons why I'm thinking September would be a better time for me to go and see Alabama. Not the middle of summer. Okay, so as you're Middle Tennessee. Drunk Jeff used to confuse us. Well, you see, and I think that's why I confuse it, because he confused it. So he was always getting mixed up. So I memorized the mixed up bit. Hello, Rex Dart. How you doing? If you're near Auburn or Alabama on a football game day, you should wander around campus just for the tailgating food, even if you don't care about football. Okay, good to know. I will keep that in mind. Jethro Tull, they play the flute. Yes, I do. Yes, but Dave Matthews Band was timely for me. I was a teenager and in my 20s. So they were actually performing. Jethro Tull was not performing. I also had Mo Kaufman. Is it Mo Kaufman? I think it is. I had a few Mo Kaufman albums on vinyl. In fact, I think I still do have Mo Kaufman on vinyl. Brilliant. My dad got me those when he found out that I was actually good at the flute. And I was, going to do something with it. He got me into a lot of those. It was really cool. Oh, dude. Okay. Turtle is saying, Mr. Q, in all fairness, I haven't been to a show in a while. A buddy of mine is working with Afroman and wanted me to drive out for the show, but I can't. Afroman was at the concert where my girlfriend and I got hosed down by the Offspring. They were at that show, as were the Crystal Method. Brilliant. The Crystal Method, I've seen them a few times now. Always a brilliant show. Really good show, but especially when you take your medicine with the little E inscribed on it, that makes it that much better. But yeah, Afroman was at that show. That was just when it because I Got High song was all the rage. That was the year. That same show, the only reason I went, my favorite punk band is Millencolin, and they were actually they were playing, and as we were entering the concert, because we got there late because we were pre-drinking, right? As we were going through the security where they're searching your bag and everything, Millencolin was just coming out on stage. And just as it's becoming my turn, they're coming out on stage and they're starting to play they've got a song called 22. And it was my 22nd birthday. So I looked at the security guard. I took off my backpack. I gave it to my girlfriend behind me. I said, check me out. He did, let me through, and I ran. And I ran, and I was not until I got into the center of that mosh pit right up front. The mosh pit was right up front of the concert, right? And I got smack dab into the center of it, and I moshed my little heart out. I had so much fun. Millencolin, I only got to see him that one time, but they put on such a great show. And that was like the beginning of the concert day, right? Because it was an all day, all night event, multiple bands in the same area. So yeah, it was, oh boy, was that fun. I used to love to go to concerts. My lost interest. Good to see you. Saying this is an enjoyable podcast to listen to while wrenching in my garage. There you go. Never ridden on a train, but it sounds like fun. I got to ride on a train. My mom took my little brother and I from Kamloops down to Vancouver by train when we were little. My dad had to live in Vancouver for a year. He got a job, so he had to move there for a year while we stayed back. So we went to visit him, and Mom took us on the train, and it was the most magical thing. It was winter, so we're traveling by train, and there's just snow and forest on all sides. There was a one of those viewing carts, so it was all glass, so you're just open to the whole world. And when it's snowing down, oh, it was so cool, so magical. I know I'm going to enjoy doing it this time too. And the Amtrak, you guys, you've kept your trains running. I mean, I know we're hearing about the train crashes and what stuff, but the actual traveling by train as a passenger is so easy for you guys. If you want to do that sort of thing in Canada, you have to buy one of the preset packages. You don't get to choose where you get on and where you get off and when you get on and when you get off. You have to buy a preset package and follow it exactly to the point, to the T. Not fun at all. I thought I could travel across Canada and then come down into the States and travel through the States coming home. But that's just not feasible. So my only hope, my only chance to do it is to get to Vancouver and take a train from Vancouver to Seattle. So that's what I'll do. But you guys have kept your passenger train travel really nice. I can pick and choose when and where I get on and off. It's not going to affect anything. I'm not pre-programmed to stay on a certain route. I could change my mind and decide to do, just as an example, I could decide to do Chicago and Detroit. And it wouldn't be an issue for me to add an extra stop in, So, yeah, the train is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that part. Yeah, Afroman puts on a hell of a show. Yeah. And Rose lives in northern Alabama, so you don't think she'll be around Auburn. Okay, good to know. See, and that's why I'm saying Alabama, because I'm not sure where specifically in Alabama she is. So there you go. Yeah, that's the problem for me is Miami is very hot and humid. It is the humidity there is an issue. I know it's great for old folks, but not so good for me. Okay, Trill's saying my brother is a local sound guy musician. Let him play his super rare, expensive. Oh, okay. Well, you lack musical knowledge. But Steve knows a lot about guitars and basses. You're talking about Afroman? And Mr. Q saying November, it might be better. I can send some elk and venison meat with you. Oh, wouldn't that be lovely? Give it to the train, the chef in the train. Here you go. Can you just prepare, my meals out of this, please? You can have some too, in exchange for going to the effort. And Turtle says your brother's gonna teach you the bass now that you have full feeling and dexterity back. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love a really good bass riff. I tried for years to play guitar, and I'm not a guitar player. I was doing my guitar practicing one night, and my little brother, I'd been doing it for a couple of years, lessons and everything. My little brother said, "Can I try?" So I gave him my guitar, and within like 5 minutes, he was playing guitar to the song that was on the radio. And when the song changed, he started playing along with the new song. So at that time, I said, "Okay, that's your guitar. You take over my lessons." I'm not doing anything with this. And he was like a prodigy. He was actually really, really good at it. So yeah, I gave that up. Turns out I can play all sorts of band instruments, but I can't play a cool instrument that, that is fun to pull out when you're sitting around a fire, right? No one wants a trombone or a trumpet or a flute sitting at the campfire. Oh, Slidey Pie, I would love to play the flutes for you sometime. I need to have mine repaired. It's sitting unused for so long. At the very minimum, it needs new pads. More likely than not, it needs a whole workover. Someday I'll get it fixed. Oh, Buck, you're almost 50 and never been to a concert. About can't afford anymore. I know concert these days are ridiculously expensive. But yeah, you're missing out. Really a good concert is something to experience. The whole venue, the whole arena is dark, and you're all singing to the same song, and the band is there and the lights are going. And I got to see Tool. I was really lucky. I got to see Tool a couple of times, and their stage shows were phenomenal. The one that I went to, it was in GM Place. I don't know what they call it now, but it's wherever the Vancouver Canucks play. It's that arena. And they had Cirque du Soleil dancers there and doing like on the long swaths of fabric and doing acrobatics with the fabric in the air hanging way above everyone. Phenomenal. It's an amazing thing. Oh, that's really cool. Mr. Q says I got to drive a steam locomotive out of the Black Hills when I was a kid. Even let you ring the horn bell. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, 2008, Turtle saw Metallica in San Fran at Oracle Stadium. You never seen so many metalheads just having fun. Sat next to a couple Jamaican guys who just kept pulling out weed. Nice. SH is saying she's talked herself out of going to so many shows. Love the idea of it and usually have fun when I'm gone, but it just seems like a hassle to get it done. Yeah, no, I totally get you. It's all the stress and anxiety of preparing yourself to go out and get there. That's why I always use the Handy Dart to get me to appointments. Because they're like my mobile safe space. So as long as I've got them taking me to the appointment, 9 times out of 10, I'm confident enough that I can get myself ready and outside and on that bus. But yeah, if I if I had to do it on my own, I don't have a car. The car was my mobile safe space. It helped an awful lot in my youth, but I can't afford one anymore. Haven't for years. I keep my driver's license up to date so I can drive whenever I get a chance, but I can't afford a car. So, yeah, it's a big hassle to get yourself up and ready and out the door and actually going to the place. That by the time you get to the place, even if you're enjoying it, you're wiped out anyways, or you're worn out anyways. So yeah. Yeah, Sandy Squatch took the Amtrak from Minnesota to New York and back. Had a layover in Chicago. It was fun and easy. Yeah, Amtrak really seems to have kept it that way, just like the golden age of traveling by train. You buy a ticket from one place and go to the next place. You can get on and off when you want. Um, Add stops, takeaway stops, and it's a nice, relaxing way to travel. It's like the Greyhound, but classy. If you've ever traveled on a Greyhound, it's like a very classy Greyhound. And you're very rarely stuck sitting that close to a stranger, you know. Festivals are good because you can move around and do other stuff. Mayhem Festival is good. Turtle got to see Dragon Force with the OG singer and Slipknot when they were debuting the Psychosocial single. Oh, okay. Slipknot from my neck of the woods. Oh, wait a minute. Now, I think I will double check. I might be thinking the wrong band now. No. Okay. So they're from America. So which one am I thinking of? It's another band in that genre from BC, actually from the Okanagan. I can't remember. Along the same lines as Slipknot. I knew I had to check it because I mixed them up. I mix the two bands up quite often. Oh, that's interesting. Turtle has misophonia, so the bass just feels good to hear. Yeah, that's interesting. Ooh. Oh, SH said the last show she had tickets for was Motley Crue and Def Leppard. That would be cool. But it was 2.5 to 3 hour drive, and she'd just gotten over COVID that week, so she funked out. Fair enough. Fair enough. Concerts are no fun when you're not feeling well. My brother had tickets. He and his best bud had tickets to go see Neil Young, and one of his idols, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? Neil Young was like the man. Kurt Cobain had taken the man who sold the world to exponential heights. So my brother said, no way on earth I'm going to miss that concert. It's the one and only time he's ever had a migraine. And he went to that show, and he was in so much pain. But yeah, he he would have really regretted it if he hadn't gone. But I don't think he made it through the whole show. I think he had to leave because the migraine was so bad. Yes, Turtle, the flute. I knew this girl, and one time at band camp. Yes, I know. I actually attended band camp too. My buddies and I, we would busk at the SkyTrain station in New Westminster. We'd busk there with our we had an oboe, a clarinet, and the flute. So we'd sit there and busk till we'd earned enough money so that we could buy ourselves lunch before we got the SkyTrain and went back home at the end of the day. So yes, I've been to band camp. It was a lot of fun. But no, I never did anything like that with my flute because that's just gross. It's your flute. Okay, this is Sweet, or this is Boo. Boo, say hi. You've got feet on the table though, don't you? Right? So what are you going to do? You're going to Thank you. Good girl. Good girl. This is Boobers. This is my older one. She is very lovey-dovey. Sandy Squatch is going to see ZZ Top. You lucky. Oh, nice. And Chicago. Oh, that's really cool too. Chicago would be another good show to see. Rogers Arena, that's what they call it now. That's where the Canucks play. Yeah. When they first built it, it was Orca Bay Arena, and then it was the GM place, and then they changed it again. I think it was TELUS for a while. Now it's Rogers. AP saying concerts are too loud for him. Yeah. Sandy, I'm the same way. She's saying she's been to many concerts and outdoor festivals. Yeah, living just outside of Vancouver, you were weird if you didn't go to a lot of those things. And Theater Under the Stars, that was a lot of fun. not just, music bands. I got to see, is it Jeff Healey is the blind guitarist? Um, oops. Yes, Jeff Healey. I got to see him. Okay, no, not off the table, off the table, off the table. Thank you. Jeff Healey, I got to see him a couple of times. Once in a tiny little pub. You have to go downstairs off an alley and down the stairs and into this tiny little pub. It's called the Yaletown Pub. I guess it's an HA hangout, a Hells Angels hangout, or at least it was way back then. But I got to see Jeff Healey there. I was front row center for that tiny little intimate gathering show. It was awesome. And then I saw him at a much bigger venue in Kelowna. Oh gosh, probably 6 or 8 years ago now. A while ago now. I mean, he's since passed. Oh, yeah, it was a lot longer than that then. He died in 2008. Holy Hannah. That's been a long time since we went to that show. Holy Hannah. Mom, we're old. My mom had good taste in music. Ooh, and Sandy Squatch gets to see Kansas on in September and maybe Weird Al. That's cool. I remember when all the weird stuff was going down and I was first hearing about this wild and crazy show called Steel Toe. I remember Aaron was so very excited and proud of himself because he managed to get Weird Al tickets for him and his daughter. And I thought, wow, that would be a good show to see. I would love to see Weird Al. That would be a lot of fun. Oh, Slidey Pie's last concert was Frampton. It was kind of disappointing, but Cheap Trick opened and they were great. Yes, Cheap Trick does a great live show. Cheap Trick loves BC. Are they may even be, are they BCers? I think I'm mixing them up. No, they're American, so I'm mixing them up with 5440, I think. Yeah, it was 5440 is the BCers. I've seen them a shit ton too. But Cheap Trick come through BC on the semi-regular, and they do a great show. Oh, Sandy. All right. Well, happy early birthday. Kansas is playing for you on your birthday. That's awesome. Yeah, birthday shows are that much better. SH says she's sad she missed her chance to see Eddie Money. He was going to be at a casino at the start of COVID, so they canceled it. Yep. Yeah, that sucks. Sandy's seen Eddie Money. Okay. And last saw was Alice Cooper. That would be another great show to see. That would be really fun. Oh, she says, oh, wait. No, her sister and oldest daughter took her to see Janet Jackson a couple of years ago. That would be another fun show. He was phenomenal. Yeah. Okay. You've got a new amphitheater close to you in Waite Park, Minnesota. Okay. That's something I've always wanted to do is go to somewhere in Washington State. Red Rock. I think it's Red Rock. It's a natural amphitheater. Dave Matthews plays there all the time. Oops. There we go. Oh, no, it's in Morrison, Colorado. Oh, wow. Okay, then it's definitely not Red Rock Amphitheater that I'm thinking of. There's one I'm pretty sure it's in Washington State, either Washington or Oregon, but I'm fairly sure it's Washington State. Dave Matthews played there fairly regularly. Ooh, Slidey Pie's aunt dated Neil Young for a short stint in the 70s. Right on. Oh, Buck, yeah. I was in a similar thing. He says he had a lady friend in college that played the flute. She handed it to him, and the first time that he ever blew into it, well, exactly, first time he ever blew over the opening, he made a sound. And she said she hated him because it took her a week to do it. I know that's how my teacher knew that I was going to be a flautist first and foremost. Um, as soon as they handed it, we were doing the whole, okay, just hold just the headpiece and blow over it. Now cover that and blow over it and try and get a sound. And it took like, yeah, a week for kids to get a handle on it. The very first time I did it, I made a sound. It was easy peasy. Before I was halfway through grade 8, which is the first year that we got banned. So before we were even halfway through the year, I was not only in band 8, I was also in band 9 and 10, playing in both of those bands as well. And I was tutoring other grade 8s, not just in flute. I can play just about any brass instrument as long as it does not have a reed. So as long as it's got a mouthpiece, I can play it. Trombone, slide trombone, trumpet, or valve trombone, slide trombone. They're all slides any which way. All sorts of tuba and anything with a mouthpiece. I could never do a saxophone, never could do a clarinet. Never was able to make a sound out of an oboe, although I think the sound of an oboe is really, really super cool. But if it's got a mouthpiece, I can play it. Yeah, Jeff Healey is definitely dead. I can't believe it was 2008. It's been that long since my mom and I went to a concert together. That's very surprising. Barenaked Ladies. Oh, I've seen the Barenaked Ladies. I've got the bassist from the Barenaked Ladies. I've got his pick. They did a concert, open concert called Barenaked in the Park. It was held at Vernier Park in Vancouver. They had Ashley McIsaac, the fiddler, and them and someone else. I can't remember who opened for them. It was outdoor. It was torrential rain. Everyone was wearing garbage bags. But it was just so much fun. So much fun. And yeah, he flicked his bass pick and I caught it. And so it's in my keepsake box. Seeing a band in a small bar is an amazing experience. It really is. It's so intimate and it sounds so much better, you know. Sandy's seen Weird Al before. Love to go again. Yeah, I'd like to see him. I never have, but I'd love to see him. Mr. Q worked for Live Nation when it was good. There you go. Seeing a lot of concerts working there for free. Yep. And Mr. Q's going to go see Weird Al in June as well. I had a few friends who worked at BC Place Stadium and then later at GM Place, or I guess Rogers Stadium, working there specifically because they got to watch the shows for free. Because there's so many shows, so many bands come to Vancouver. So that was always one of the most popular jobs for people in their, late teens, early 20s to get, was to work one of the stadiums. Ooh, I would love to see Hollywood Vampires as well. That would be a great show. It's too bad what's his face passed. Oh, I'm so bad with names. I think it was a Jeff something too. But he was touring with Johnny Depp until he died. And that was fairly recent. I would have loved to have seen them too. Sandy Squatch took her daughter to Justin Bieber. First concert I ever attended, ever, was at BC Place Stadium, which is the worst music venue because it's just nothing but echoes. Um, Me and my best friend Raylene got tickets to go see New Kids on the Block, and because we were so little, my dad and her dad took us. I don't know why our mums didn't take us, but they didn't. They sat it on the fathers. So Raylene and I and our dads went to BC Place Stadium, and we were nosebleed, like way up there, and we watched New Kids on the Block live, and it was just the coolest experience ever. I had a huge crush on Donnie. Donnie was always my favorite. Everyone had a thing for Joey, but I loved Donnie. I liked it, the bad boy. And I mean, at the end of the day, the Wahlbergs are a good looking family. So I think I had the best taste. But yeah, I remember he took his shirt off in that concert, and that was the first time my little female self ever felt any kind of fluttering of, you know, sexy stuff. He took his shirt off, and it was just it was a moment for me. To the point where I still remember it to this day. Oh man. But yeah, that was an interesting first concert. Really good first concert. First concert I ever went to without parental um uh whatever it is, without someone's parent being there to keep track of us. Another girlfriend and I, we lived across the street from each other, and we went and saw Brian Adams Waking Up the Neighbors tour in Vancouver. And it was just the two of us. I used to have all of my concert t-shirts in a box, but when I moved from the coast up here, somehow or other that got lost in the shuffle. So all of my concert tees are gone. Like Soul Asylum and Ween, and I never got to see Weezer. I I went and saw Stone Temple Pilots, and I saw Velvet Revolver. Loved them. I've got shirts for them. In fact, I still have my Velvet Revolver shirt. That was not in with the rest of the concert shirts, so I've still got it. There's no way I could fit it now. That was in the height of my doing drugs phase, so I was pretty tiny. Hi, Kaiser. How you doing? Not a whole heck of a lot. We're talking about concerts, and different bands we've seen. Oh, Mr. Q actually got to film the bands and interview some of the people. Um, and you've got a radio cut of yourself interviewing Taylor Swift. Interesting. Taylor Swift, eh? Did she have a bulge? There's a huge debate in one of the discords I belong to. The boys can't agree that she's actually female. It's one of those tinfoil hat um, stories that's out there that she's actually a male. But yeah, that would have been really cool. Yeah, I've seen Ween like 4 or 5 times. I loved them. Pennywise and a lot of the oh, now I'm having No Effects, Suicide Machines, um, Green Day, seen The Offspring a few times, Tool a couple times. Yeah, seen a lot of bands. I've still got my concert stubs, but somewhere along the way, I lost my concert shirts. I was going to make a quilt out of my concert shirts. um, the Gorge Thank you, my lost interest. Thank you. It's the Gorge Amphitheater. Is the one I was thinking of in Washington State. Phenomenal location. Dave Matthews played there on the regular. But it's a phenomenal place for a concert. Johnny K is saying, "What about the skin flute? Do you play a mean skin flute?" I don't know. I'll have to find out, won't we? Kaiser was never a musical kid, couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. Well, fair enough. You've got a whole whack load of other talents. Um, so you don't need to be able to sing too. You're an artist and you can write and you can cook and you've got voices. Uh, yeah, you are not, you've got more than enough talent, so you don't need to be able to sing. Sandy's saying I would love to play harmonica. I did learn a little bit of harmonica. I used to work at a music store that sold musical instruments, and one of the teachers there he loved playing harmonica, so he taught me a little bit, but never enough to be anything fun. Buck is saying I like blowing over the hole in a bottle to make the noise. Nothing difficult, right? Some spoons and a jug and you're good to go. I've got musical talent. I smoked for the bulk of my life up until 14 days ago. But yeah, so my voice is a few octaves lower than it used to be. I used to be an alto tenor. I think I'm pretty much a tenor now, but I used to have a really good singing voice. I don't know if it's still a good singing voice. I haven't used it in more than a decade. Turtle is saying, I'm a good mimic and can do a lot of voices and accents, so I'm good for a sample to loop. I think that's why my brother wants to teach me the bass, because I think he wants to make a Tenacious D. Tenacious D type thing. That's another one. I saw Tenacious D a few times live. I was also at the Spike and Mike comic festival back in the day, like way back in the day. Spike and Mike film festival. It was for like animated stuff. First time they ever played Fucking You Gently for a live audience, and played the video. The first time they ever aired it for people was at the Spike and Mike thing that I was at. It was first time I'd ever heard of Tenacious D, and it was Fucking Her Gently, and there was an animated video to go along with the song. It was so much fun. Oh my goodness, so much fun. I mean, I also went to things like Rocky Horror Picture Show shows where they'd air it and we'd throw toast and toilet paper and that sort of thing. Those things were fun. Vancouver for many, many, many decades. They did the Des Maurier Festival of Lights, where they had the fireworks. And it was like a competition, a fireworks competition. So people from all over the world would come over and compete, and they would play the music that would go with the fireworks show. They play it on the local radio. So you could be sitting on the beach watching the fireworks with the local radio turned on. So you're hearing the music that goes with the show. Oh, so much fun. I got my first, no, that wasn't my first. My first drunken public warning was actually on my 19th birthday, but I did get it, one of them for a Festival of Lights evening. That was the whole point when you're, young and dumb. Get yourself a bunch of booze and drink in public while you're wandering Vancouver all day long, getting sunburns, and then you'd wander down to the beach and find a little section to call your own and sit and watch the fireworks. And when they were finally done, they usually finished before midnight. They finished in time that you could get onto the bus and ride the bus all the way back home again, because we lived in the outskirts of Vancouver. It was like an hour bus ride, roughly, to go back and forth. So yeah, the buses, SkyTrains were all full of drunks. Oh, Buck. Canadians wearing trash bags, were they all glad to be there? I don't know if they were all glad, but we sure were happy to be there. I've done a few outdoor concerts while wearing garbage bags. you live in Vancouver, you're gonna get wet. It rains there constantly. It's a rainforest. So yeah, you get used to doing everything soaking wet, including concerts. Turtle saying because that's what good dads do, right? I don't know how the mums wrangled the dads into being the ones to take us to New Kids in the Block, but my dad's like the world's best dad, and her dad was pretty darn cool too. So yeah, they were willing to go there and listen to the New Kids on the Block for their little girls, and I sure as heck appreciated it. Guys, just been to a couple concerts, but none for any decent bands. Just ended up going with people I knew who were way more into the music than I was, in it for the experience. Yeah, yeah. I've seen a lot of people I didn't know. I've seen a lot of bands I didn't know about beforehand too. Um, Growing up in Vancouver, all the local bars tended to have bands come and play, so it was very easy to go out on the weekend and find a show or three. And Sandy Squatch's brother took his stepdaughter to Backstreet Boys. Yeah, it is. It's what good dads do. Like Turtle said, it's what good dads do. Um, Not necessarily entertaining, but you know, you got to do it for your girl. uh, Mr. Q said I ended up liking some of the music that I saw when I was working. Never liked Kid Rock till he saw him live. Yeah, Kid Rock's fun. Um, I always enjoyed his music. I never did get to see him live though. Oh, SH saying her dad took her to a couple concerts and she took him to Fleetwood Mac. That would have been one I would love to see. It's Fleetwood Mac. I never got to see Nirvana. I've seen the Foo Fighters a billion times. Smashing Pumpkins I've seen so many times. I even got to see them when they were on their farewell tour. Um, I got to see them for the last time they played Vancouver. Matthew Good, I've seen a bunch. You know, Great Big Sea, 5440. Shoot, who are they? It's on the tip of my tongue. They're like more of a Celtic or fisherman sort of a thing, like Great Big Sea. But yeah, I've seen all sorts, all sorts. Ooh, Sandy's first was Prince Purple Rain tour with Sheila E. That's cool. That's very cool. Way to set the bar high from the start, though, eh? Sandy Squatch says SH, right? Turtle saying his was Ozfest 03. Okay. You were there for Ozzy canceling last minute as you were in line. Got to meet Disturbed and Korn, Marilyn Manson, though. So that's great. Awesome. Pretty sure I've seen. Oh, now my brain. I think I've seen Korn. I won't guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure they were at one of the many conglomeration weekend outdoor events. Pretty sure. You were in front row and in a mosh pit for Zao back in the day, says Kaiser. Friend took him. Not his kind of band, but the metal was awesome. Well, and that's the thing too. Just the vibe, the feeling being at a large concert or even just a small intimate gathering concert, the vibe, the feeling is just so great. Even if you don't know the band or it may be not your favorite genre, it's so enjoyable. It's really great. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift either, honestly. And Buck is obviously we know which side he's sitting on. Tyler Swift. Right? She's not as pretty as people say she is in person, especially when Mr. Q met her. It was when she was younger, so she was a twig. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she's she's nothing, special. She's a very, very pretty girl next door. Um, But yeah, she's not anything. I mean, not that I'm your average girl next door. She's like the beautiful girl next door. Don't I'm not trying to say we're in any leagues, but I wouldn't put her as the pinnacle of beauty either. Um, she's a little bit average, you know, to every girl to be, you know, in my opinion. But then I agree, or I believe in the theory that there are some men that are just too pretty. Um, I know some of my female friends out there have agreed with me. Understand that there is such a thing as a man who is too pretty. Um, I much prefer a man who's got an interesting or unique features, something like that. Um, too pretty is just is not good because you're always going to feel like the ugly duckling beside the too pretty man, you know? Yeah, Kaiser is saying he's starting to work on volume 2 right now. Got 2 chapters down already. Nice. Nice. Still need to edit volume 1, but not stopping. Let's fucking go. That's right, Kaiser. Let's fucking go. Um, I'm so excited for you. Yeah, you don't need to be able to carry soon. Ronnie James Dio twice. Dio or Dio? I feel like I should know that name, Sandy, but it's like really far back in the mists there. Jug thumping is fun as hell, but I'm a mountain river person, so take that as you will, says Turtle. Yeah, jug thumping is good. It's a good fun time. Check my discords. Oop. See, I can open this now, at least. And then when I don't accidentally hit the refresh, there we go. I know what it is. Oh, JK. I know what he was insinuating. I do. I know that. Thank you. SH was never able to play guitar either. Okay. Wanted to learn banjo for years. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe I might be able to pull off a ukulele. Or maybe a bass, but at this point it's too late to be learning something like the bass. Because that's really more of a band instrument, right? I don't know if my neighbors would appreciate if I start plonking away on a bass. Although the one neighbor down at the end is a DJ, so he spins at night with the window open. It's quite nice. He never spins later than 10 though, so that's a bonus too. He's not an annoying DJ neighbor. One is white plastic and hazard to small children. The other's just a plastic bag. Oh no, I'm pulling a Johnny. I'm reading backwards. What's the difference between Michael Jackson and a plastic bag? One is white plastic and a hazard to small children. The other is just a plastic bag. There you go. Ba-dum-dum-ting. It's funny. My mom's got vitiligo. Obviously, she's a white lady, so it's not as obvious. But it was always cool when people would make fun of Michael Jackson for fading. As a kid, I was always so excited to say, no, no, no. He's got this issue called vitiligo. My mom's got it too, and it makes him go lighter. And I don't know why I was so proud that my mom had the same illness as Michael Jackson when I was little, but it was like a thing. He's so plastic. His last wish was to be recycled into the children's playground equipment. Nice. System of a Down. System of a Down. That, thank you. No, that's exactly what I played last time. Yes, I love System of a Down. I do. I went and I looked up earlier, but they're not the ones that I was thinking of still. It'll come to me. The other band is going to come to me. It'll be the middle of the night, and I'm going to sit right up in bed, and it's going to be this band, and none of you are going to be there, but I'm going to feel better because I will have remembered the band that I'm thinking of. Oh my goodness. SH made my dad go see Fish with me. kept saying, "You can take a friend if you want." My friends didn't want to go either. They listened to rap or country back then. I would love to see Fish. Oh my goodness. Fish would have been a great show. I also would have loved to have seen They Might Be Giants. Um, huge, huge, huge fan of They Might Be Giants, but I never got to see them. Manson put on a hell of a show. Yeah, I never did get to see him either. He put a mic into a fully nude girl on stage. The early 2000s were a different time. Laughed my ass off. Yes, right? Um, yes. Totally wild and different time. I only got to see Stone Temple Pilots once, and then they only came through Vancouver as Velvet Revolver once. But the reason I only got to see Stone Temple Pilots once was because they had come to Vancouver previously, and I think he was busted for drugs or something, and so they weren't allowed back in to play in Vancouver. And then I don't know what year it was. At some point around 2009, 2012, something around that area, Vancouver decided to allow Stone Temple Pilots to come and perform again. And not only did they allow them to come back into the city, they allowed them to perform at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre in downtown Vancouver. Now, this is like the pristine theater for the stage, right? So when all the big shows, Broadway shows roll through, they play in Vancouver in the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. A beautiful, beautiful venue. The weirdest thing that they would allow Stone Temple Pilots to play that place. But my a couple of coworkers were also going. So there was me and my friend and the two of them, and we were rows apart. They were way up in like row 9 or something like that, and we were 9 or 12 or something like that, and we were further back. Couple of days before the show, my coworker was doing laundry and washed the clothes that had the tickets in it, and they were unretrievable. So when my girlfriend and I got to the Queen Elizabeth Theatre, we went and took our seats. As soon as the show started, we got up and we went and sat down in their seats, much, much closer to stage, because we knew no one was going to show up and try and kick us out of the seats. So that was really cool. That was also the first time I ever smelled crack. And it was very weird juxtaposition because I'm smelling something. I'm like, what the heck is that smell? And my friend's like, no, that's crack. That's the smell of crack burning. And yet we're sitting in this beautiful, elegant, posh venue, this theater. Yeah, it was very weird and incongruous, especially when Scott Whalen came out wearing his shorts, his Doc Marten boots, and a boa constrictor with the loudspeaker in the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. It was, it was very incongruous. Didn't like Hole, but saw them live in the late 90s. Still didn't like them. Saw that Courtney Love live, so there's that. Yeah, there's that. I wouldn't mind seeing Korn. Yeah, I liked a lot of their stuff. Ooh, Slidey Pie, you lucky. You got to see Kenny Rogers and Mac Davis. Ooh, my mama loved Kenny Rogers. Boy, oh boy. And Sandy saw Manson at the Minneapolis Metrodome. That's cool. And again at Rockfest and Ozfest. Nice. Yeah, I never did get to see Manson. He came through a few times, but one way or another, I never managed to get to see him. Ooh, hello, Fiery. Jonathan Davis is a pussy who tried to get a pussy, I'm guessing, is a pussy who tried to get cops to disarm at a festival. All the bands were hours late and it almost caused a riot. Oof. Yeah, I know. That's what I figured. It was an autocorrect issue. How you doing, Fiery? Fair enough. They can be as pretty as they want. I'm fun as fuck. It'll always worked out. Pretty means dog shit when we're 80 and I'm shooting varmints from the porch swing. Fair enough. Every single banjo player I've met was self-taught, says Buck. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I might be able to do a ukulele. Might be it because it's so close. I might be able to do it. But I couldn't I had such a hard time doing the fingerings and the different strumming patterns, and I'm not a guitar player. We ended up my brother was so good, like I said, I gave him my guitar and I gave him my lessons. He was so good, we actually bought him a Takamine electric acoustic, for Christmas one year. We went looking for it. It was beautiful. It was a dark, like a midnight blue, but it kind of lightened and darkened, a bit of a shimmer to it, and the sound out of that Takamine is phenomenal. Phenomenal guitars. Um, Beautiful. That thing sounded I could just, plunk, 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 and it sounded beautiful. So that what happened to Sammy Sosa? Anyone seen him? Doubt it, because he's completely different than when he played ball. Don't look him up. It's scary. All right, I won't. Sammy Sosa was one of my mom's favorites back in the time. Did you Buck's asking if my mom also slept with the Pat chimp in a hyperbaric chamber? No, no, she didn't do that. She didn't do that. Oh, STP was your first concert? Oh my goodness. That's one hell of a first concert. My goodness. Scott Wayland was like, a god in my eyes back in the day before I found God. But he really was like a someone special. And it smells like something's burning, but I'm not cooking anything. Maybe it's the people downstairs. I'm okay. I've seen STP. I loved Scott Wayland. I thought he was just the bee's knees. And it was sad with Scott Wayland. I got most of, if not all of the STP albums, Velvet Revolver albums, and I had one or two of his solo albums. It was really unfortunate though. He was one of those musicians who was only good when he was using. When he stopped using, the music just got, So most of his solo projects were just because he was sober. It was too bad. Rockstar was a sponsor of a lot of concerts back in the day. Rob Ford was there, Digger. It might have been. Smelling that crack in there, but it was just so weird. I'm like, what is that? What is that smell? And it's, it's like we're in the Queen's Theater. Like this is not the sort of place where I'm inclined to smell smoke in general. But it was such a weird smell. And I never really asked why my friend knew what it was we were smelling, but she did. She knew what it was. But it was fine because we moved. Took my coworkers' seats, and it was fine. Looked up Sammy Sosa searching for a mind bleach, says Buck. And Lass is saying, I warned you. No, crack's the drug. Hello, Atomic Ray. How you doing? Kenny Rogers is better than Boston Market. Howdy. Is the West Coast on fire yet? Apparently Alberta's on fire, but nothing here yet. It'll happen. It always does, but nothing yet. Thank goodness. There you go. Yeah, SH, it makes sense. You don't think you've smelled crack, just meth, but it's a Midwest thing. Yeah, it makes sense. Turtle says, I want to get and learn the theremin. I love the spooky, weird noise. I know, right? Oh, that's such a cool. That's one of the things I like to Like on the Big Bang Theory, Sheldon would play the theremin and he'd just bring it out and annoy the piss out of the guys. I got such a kick out of that. It's a very, very interesting musical instrument. Rob Ford at least was funny. Could have been stuck with Marion Barry. The bitch set me up. I'm not getting that. Marion Barry, I don't know that reference. But yeah, Rob Ford, at least he was funny, he was entertaining, and he was hooked up with the AHAs. He was in like Flynn with the AHAs. So, it didn't matter that he was caught smoking crack multiple times. It doesn't matter that he was party harder than most anyone else in the city he was mayor of. Everyone loved him anyway. It was weird. Doug, his brother, nowhere near as cool. Nowhere near as cool. Sandy's saying, I've seen the Grateful Dead, Stevie Wonder, Joe Cocker. Oh, Joe Cocker would have been great. Tina Turner, Warren Zevon, Elton John, the list goes on. Wow. Right on. Joe Cocker would have been a good one. Or Eric Carmen. I would have loved to have seen Eric Carmen. Mr. Q saying, I'm so happy it's a nice rainy day here. I needed it. Finally don't have to work 16 hours a day. Nice. Turtle saying, okay, I need to slow down on the dabs. Fair enough. And Buck is saying, I think of the X-Wing and Y-Wing fighters in Star Wars when I hear the name Stone Temple Pilots. Actually, there was a bar downtown Vancouver called Stone Temple Pilots. I never did go in there, though, because it was a dangerous bar to go to. There were a lot of fights and stuff in there. So I never did get to go to that bar. But yeah, for me, I hear Stone Temple Pilots and I immediately see Scott Whalen in the boa and the heels and the well, not the heels, but what are they now? Doc Martens. They sit higher anyway. But yeah, and the boa and the loudspeaker. Oh, fun. Marion Barry was the mayor of Washington. Oh, okay, got caught on camera smoking crack in a sting. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of her. But yeah, most definitely Rob Rob Ford was a fun guy. And Buck is saying the same thing. Marion Barry, former mayor of Washington, D.C. and crackhead. There you go. Well, look at that. It's 2 hours, 20 minutes, and I'm finally caught up with the chat. Yes, after being caught on tape, they did reelect Rob Ford. They did. After everything they showed him doing, they still reelected him. It was awesome. And Buck is clarifying, yeah, Luke Skywalker and the rest were pilots flying out of a literal stone temple to attack the Death Star. Yeah. Alderman, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to call it here. It's been a good one. I have not stopped talking. The girls have been really polite, but it's most definitely that time now. So I will say good night for tonight. And for most of you, well, heck, for all of you, from, let's see, 11 a.m. PST to 2:30 p.m. PST. Do your own math. Friday, which is tomorrow, I will be on Just Kidding LLC. It is his monthly fundraising stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. I talked to Nick Starro. He showed me where to find the Wheel of Death. So we've got some really interesting things to put on to the Wheel of Death. So come hang out, have fun with us tomorrow. Bring your shekels and chuck them at the cripple so he doesn't have to beg for them the rest of the month. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll get him to shave a leg, just one. maybe pluck some eyebrows or nose hairs, that sort of thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'll see you guys there tomorrow. And otherwise, I'll see you again Monday for Chatting with Friends. Have a great weekend, kids.
Topics change from day to day. Science, art, or history's play. No path too twisted, no trail too thin. She dives right in where to begin. Nothing's too obscure. She'll dig and take a spirit so pure. From ancient lore to future dreams, every question finds its gleam.